welcome back to my special education news channel. My name is Rachel Coast and thank you for joining me in today's topic. The topic comes from the book called Contemporary Issues in Special Education. The authors of this book are Ashley L. Renee Hershey and Tony Mild. We will be focusing on Chapter 9 this week. This chapter asks the question, service and support animals, which is most appropriate for school setting. Why is this an issue? Well, I believe that service animals and emotional support animals can both be appropriate for a school setting. For example, emotional support animals could help students with autism feel calm. The emotional support animal could also help students with severe emotional and behavioral problems, while service animals help students with disabilities perform everyday tasks that they may have trouble with or tells them a medical emergency is going to occur, like that they are going to have a seizure or if they need more insulin. So both service animals and emotional support animals could really help students succeed in the classroom. The issues occurs when people start to abuse these services, especially emotional support animals. Many people say they have emotional issues when they don't, so that they can take their animals with them to places. This can hurt people who actually need emotional support animals, because people will start to view emotional support animals as just an excuse to bring your pet with you everywhere. Also, I've heard of people putting service animal vests on animals when they're not even certified. They do this because they know people can't ask for proof. This could create a bad name for service animals if someone does this and the animal's not trained and acts poorly. Look who came to visit for today's topic. This is my cat Cupcake. She's my pet. Okay. Why is this an issue continued? Another issue could be that there needs to be some type of training for emotional support animals. That way they can help their owner with emotional support and that they behave in the classroom or wherever they go. That way they're not being a distraction in the classroom. The last issue is, what if people are scared of the animal that is brought or allergic? What should we do for these students? Why did I select this issue? Because I do really believe that emotional support animals and service animals can really help students succeed in the classroom and everyday life. That is not what I am debating. My issue comes from people who abuse that service. There are people out there who really don't need these services but want to take their pets with them when they go places. I have met people who buy service vests so that they can take their animal to places that don't allow animals. I've also seen on campus at NMSU that people say they need an emotional support animal. That way their animal can live with them on campus. They have told me they did it just so that they could have their animal. I feel like this could hurt the people who actually need these services. What if someone puts a service vest on an untrained animal and it attacks someone when it's out in public? This could create a bad name for service animals. I really think there needs to be some type of training for emotional support animals as well. Also, maybe there needs to be stricter screening processes. That way, people who actually need these services get these services. 5 cons for service animals and support animals in the school setting. The first con, according to Renee Hershey and Mild 2020, is however an employee is not allowed to question the type of disability an individual has, ask for proof of the disability, or ask for the proof of the type of training the dog received. This becomes a problem when people put a service vest on an untrained animal, because businesses really can't ask for proof. I do understand why they did this law though, because it would not be fair for someone with a disability to have to prove why they have this animal or talk about a disability they don't want to talk about. It is illegal though to put a vest on an untrained animal that's not certified. So if someone does this and gets caught, they can get in trouble. The second con, according to Renee Hershey and Mild 2020, the problem arises, however, when other parents in the district may argue that their son or daughter have severe allergies, so severe that they require their own Chapter 15 504 plan to outline what to be done when their allergies cause him or her problems in the school day. I'm not sure what I would actually do in this situation. Maybe only allowing hyperallergenic like animals as support or service animals. Also, maybe the student will have different teachers so that they don't like meet up with each other and be in the same classroom, I guess. I'm not sure. The third con, according to Rainier Hershey and Mao 2020. And yet another set of parents may complain that their child has a severe fear of dogs due to being brutally bitten in the past. I guess in this situation, I would talk with the family and the child and see if we could come up with accommodations for them. Like maybe we could put them in a different classroom or whatever will make them feel comfortable. The fourth con, according to Rainier Hershey and Mao 2020, they will need to determine how to make something that is currently not a common fixture and that the majority of students will be excited about, not to take away from the learning environment. When they say they mean teachers. I think though that it may be distracting at first, but students will eventually get used to the service animal or support animal in the classroom. Also, it could be a great learning opportunity for students who like on what to do when they see a service animal or emotional support animal, that let them know that these animals are working and that we should not disturb them. Also, that if they happen to come across just the service animal, they should follow the service animal because they'll probably bring them back to their owner who's having a medical emergency. The fifth con, according to Rainier Hershey and Mao 2020, is the influx of people bringing emotional support animals with them everywhere they go has skyrocketed. This is an issue when people are just pretending that their animal is an emotional support animal so that they can bring their animal with them. What happens if someone's fake emotional support animal attacks another person? This could give emotional support animals a bad name and may make it harder for people to get support animals who actually need the service, because everyone thinks they just want their pet and that maybe they don't have any problems. They're just faking, which is not good. So 5 pros for service animals and support animals in the school setting. The first pro, according to Rainier Hershey and Mao 2020, is that the tasks that these animals assist their owners with are critical activities that are needed to live their lives on a daily basis. This is awesome because individuals with disabilities are getting support they need to do their daily activities that they otherwise can't do by themselves. The second pro, according to Rainier Hershey and Mao 2020, some school counselors are using support animals in counseling or therapy sessions for students who are anxious or have a harder time opening up. This is awesome because many times students have a hard time opening up about themselves, but if they have an animal to help relax them, they will probably be more likely to open up to the therapist. The third pro, according to Rainier Hershey and Mao 2020, is these schools are seeing their students' empathy skills becoming more developed. The reason being, according to Rainier Hershey and Mao 2020, is lots of times young people can see in an animal what they can't see in their classmate. Like, an animal will more likely show their emotion, while students will probably keep what's inside them majority of the time. This is great because empathy is an important skill for all students to learn. 5 pros continued. The fourth pro, according to Rainier Hershey and Mao 2020, the ADA provision does outline that the owner or the handler of the service animal must be able to control it. Then Rainier Hershey and Mao 2020 go on to say, therefore, it would not be the teacher's responsibility to keep the dog under control or take care of any of its needs throughout the day, which is good because the teacher won't have to interrupt their class time or or teaching to take care of the animal. The fifth pro, according to Rainier Hershey and Mile 2020, is some schools are starting to incorporate more and more support animals in the school setting to assist with providing calming influence, to increase students' empathy, and to assist in the overall climate of the school, classroom, and therapy session. That sounds like some awesome benefits. I do feel like animals can help with calming people down and with feeling more relaxed, unless that person, of course, is afraid of the animal. I guess it's kind of up to the school if they wanted to do that or not. What are some common myths about service animals and support animals? One myth is that service animals must wear a vest. That is not true. According to the ADA 2020, some individuals with a disability with a service animal may have their animals wear a vest as a way of communication with the public, but it isn't required. The ADA then goes on to say, in fact, there's no requirement for service animals to wear any form of identification or for the owner to carry any identification proving the animal is indeed a service animal. I had no idea that they were not required to wear a vest. That is something new that I learned. Another myth is that service animals will not make a noise. According to the ADA 2020, while service animals are quiet often, better trained than most dogs who are pets, some dogs are actually trained to bark. The ADA 2020 goes on to say, for example, a diabetic alert may be trained to bark if their handler's blood sugar levels are changing. That's pretty cool. Another myth is that anyone can have an emotional support animal. This is not true. According to Get an Emotional Support Animal 2020, instead, before you get yourself a little friend, your mental state will have to be evaluated by a licensed therapist. This is to make sure that you qualify for an emotional support animal and that it will be the best for your treatment. To conclude, I do believe that service animals and support animals can both be appropriate in the school setting, that these animals could really help their owners succeed in the classroom and everyday life. People just need to stop abusing these services so they don't make it harder for others to obtain these services just because someone messed it up for them. Also, it is important to ask students who are allergic or scared of the animal what type of accommodations they would like. For example, being placed in a different class or whatever else they say. Because we cannot tell the student with the service animal that they can't bring that animal. That is against the law. So working with both sides is the best way to come up with a solution. Lastly, I do believe that emotional support animals should also receive a lot of training like service animals. Overall, I think that service animals and support animals could be a great tool for students with disabilities, emotional, behavioral, and mental health issues. Thank you everyone for tuning into my news program. All right, let's restart this. Thank you everyone for tuning into my news program today, and see you all soon for our next topic. My name is Rachel Coast and I am signing off. Have a great rest of your week.